Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 6 topics for this video. First one has to do with a massive Russian drone attack on Ukraine. Overnight, 19th to 20th of September. Some missiles as well. And more than 100 drones. Another topic that we have here has to do with the Ukrainians running, according to the Russians, running concentration camps in Ukraine. Well, we're going to have Maria Zakharova bringing some accusations and some statements, and she calls them evidence. We'll see. Another topic has to do with Israel and Lebanon after the pager walkie-talkie attack on and I will show you how the United Nations looks at it and how the Russians look at this incident. Nevertheless, we're going to discuss in short, just a little bit, the Israelis' new phase. And the new phase will be, I think, a Gaza, the same as Gaza. Next topic has to do with Polish Prime Minister, Mr. Tusk. And Mr. Tusk tries to calm down his Polish compatriots because they will see German army in Poland. So the German army that, were over there sometime, I don't know, like about more than 70 years ago, they're back. You can't make shit up. So Tusk tells the Poles, hey, the Germans are back, but hey, they are our friends. They come here to help us. All right, let's start with the first topic. Ukrinform. Russian troops launched more than 100 drones in 2 villages in Luhansk region over the past day. Over the past day, Russian troops they just sent like a package, 70 drones toward the front line Balka Zuravka in Luhansk region and 48 more towards Makiivka. So I identify these locations for you. And for us, let's go with this beautiful map. You have here the Sea of Azov. Here you have the peninsula, the Crimean Peninsula. Here is Donetsk Oblast, this is Luhansk Oblast, and here is right at that little corner, that is Makiivka. So in this area here, I will show you a better map, right there. In this area, the Russian launched about 100 drones in this, so this is Luhansk, and this is Donetsk. This is Kharkiv, so they are trying again to probably reignite this advancement towards Kupiansk. So this is the area they launched more than 100 drones. We're going to go to the next article from New Voice of Ukraine. Air Defense Forces intercept 61 of 70 drones and 1 of 4 missiles in Russian night attack. So this article is from the 20th. So this is from today. They tell us about 100 drones, about 70, and then 48. And then in this one, they tell us about the 70, not about the 48, and they downed 61. The Russian forces launched an attack with 4 missiles and 70 Shahed drones. Ukraine air defense successfully downed 61 drones and 1 Kh-59 missile. The report indicates that the attacks targeted Donetsk Oblast with 3 unidentified missiles and Dnipropetrovsk Oblast with 1 Kh-59 missile. The drones were launched from Primorsko-Akhtarsk, Kursk, and Yeisk. Those obviously are on the map. So we got Kursk here, and then you got Yeisk and Primorsko-Akhtarsk across from the Sea of Azov. Here is Primorsko-Akhtarsk, and Yeisk is right here. So we're gonna do like this: Yeisk, abracadabra. And we have Primorsko-Akhtarsk. So from here, drones, bang, bang, across from the Sea of Azov, and from north of this, which is Kursk. They attacked this Dnipropetrovsk, and they say Luhansk with 100 drones. Let's see what else these guys are saying. The air defense operated in 13 Ukrainian oblasts, including Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev, Vinnytsia, Cherkasy, Kirovohrad, Sumy, Poltava, Ivano-Frankivsk, Kiev, Khmelnytsky, Mykolaiv, Odessa, and Kherson. Air raid alerts were issued nationwide, with explosions recorded in the country's west, Ivano-Frankivsk, Rivne, and Khmelnytsky. In Lviv Oblast, a drone crash caused a fire, but no injuries were reported. So just, if you look over the map, the Russians attacked everything. I didn't hear Zatomir or Rovnyadin, but Lutsk, but right here is Lviv, Ivano-Frankovsk, and then Khmelnytsky, Vinnytsia, Odessa here, Mykolaiv here, Cherkasy, Kiev, Chernihiv, Chernigov, like the Russians say it. And we have here Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporozhye down here. All right, so this is the attack. We're going to go to Ukrinform, where they say that these guys again destroyed 61 and KH-59 missile overnight. And here is the evidence. You see it? You can count them. They're all right there, downed. Oh my God. So this is the attack. Now let's go to the Maria Zakharova, the Russian Foreign Ministry's spokeswoman, very smart and very ballsy, telling us about the what she calls concentration camps ran by the Ukrainians. Ukraine running quote-unquote concentration camps, Moscow says, and here is Maria Zakharova. Do you think that in, for instance, Kursk, where the guys invaded, why do I say guys? Because there are some Ukrainians, there are some other nationalities over there involved in the invasion of Russia. Do you think that those guys, when they got over the villages over there that they conquered, do you think that they just, I don't know, gave chocolate, candies, and champagne? No, they gave in their brains, and however we want to look at it, a retribution, which is bad. That's why when these guys say, well, when we're going to get over the Crimean Peninsula, we're just going to take care of it. What do you think will happen with the Russian population, which is the biggest percentage, is a majority in that? What do you think will happen to them? They're going to be like, oh, we forgive you that you... There will be a lot of shit that the West will approve of. But if that happens, so let's see what evidence Zakharova brings. Kiev is transporting Russian civilians from Kursk region at gunpoint. That's what she said. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has said Ukrainian troops in Russia's Kursk region are abducting civilians and imprisoning them in Nazi-style concentration camps, Moscow's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has said. So, Russian law enforcement agencies continue to collect data on cases in which Ukrainian nationalists, and I'm quoting, forcibly took to Ukraine residents of Kursk region who did not have time to evacuate. I'm guaranteeing you the Western media, the operatives, will keep quiet about this, if that's accurate. And I'm quoting, this is a typical practice of the Nazi occupiers. No, Maria, I don't think it's typical of them. I think it's typical of other things. Do you remember how they took the Soviet people into captivity and slavery? She asked. Well, I also remember how the Soviets took the Eastern Europeans and the Germans, and not only, and took them into the Gulag. So that's why it's not only the Nazi occupiers, it's also the guys in charge of Soviet Union at that time, which were Stalin, he's a Gruzian, he's a Georgian, he was not a Russian, and other guys like Kaganovich and other guys who were the commissars. So yes, those were the ones who did kind of like the Katyn forest. Do you remember the Katyn forest? They didn't even bother to round them up and send them anywhere. They went to the Katyn forest, the Polish intelligentsia that was blamed on the Germans, until 1991. Even though the Germans, when they unearthed the remains of the poor Poles over there, you know, educators, priests, military, creme de la creme, about 15,000 in the Katyn forest massacre, however we want to call it. Those commissars were certain kind of stripe, They didn't bother. They just took them over there, dug some holes, bam, bam, bam. And then the Germans, when they came with a front over, when they invaded in the Barbarossa operation, and they invaded, the Poles told them, hey, that's what happened over there. The Germans went, unearthed that, and they called the Red Cross and others foreign observers who took pictures, who saw that this is what the Germans found. And until 1991, when Russia opened its archives for the West, they said, yeah, it was the Soviet commissars. And the Soviet commissars, you can find the names. I super dare you to go. And if you know it, you're fantastic. You're going to get some specific names and specific people. That's reality. I know YouTube and others don't like reality, but so it was not only that. That's why when they talk about certain things in the Second World War, why do you waste so many resources to go, round them up, put them in trains, feed them, get them over there, use that, do that, give them food, do this, blah, blah, when you can just do like the commissars did. Be careful. Anyway, let's move on. According to Zakharova, the Russian Red Cross has collected numerous eyewitness accounts of the abductions in Kursk. And I'm quoting, in fact, there is evidence that Ukrainian fighters are creating a kind of concentration camp in the Russian border area, where they are placing at gunpoint local residents who, for various reasons, have been unable to leave unsafe areas. And it says Russian officials have repeatedly accused Ukrainian troops of committing atrocities in Kursk region, including indiscriminate killing and sexual violence, alleging that scores of people were, and I'm quoting, forced into trucks and taken in an unknown direction. So we have videos here surfaced on social media that appear to show Ukrainian fighters in Kursk region forcing Russian citizens, some of them who were beaten, blindfolded and handcuffed, into a truck to be transported elsewhere. I'm going to just go over there, but I'm not going to play it. Footage that emerged earlier this month appeared to show Ukrainian torturing captured Russian soldiers by electrocuting him. Other video footage featured Ukrainian troops taunting an elderly Russian man while wearing helmets with an insignia similar to that of the Waffen-SS. So let me sanitize this. So I'm not gonna, we are on YouTube. These guys don't like truth unless the truth plays there. I want to show you a picture. All right, I'm gonna play the video. So this is what she said. Ukrainian troops kidnapping Russian civilians, and this is the video I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna go back to where I've been here. I'm gonna try to do the other one with the torturing guy. Again, I'm just, and here is an example right there. And then we got the other thing is the other video. Let's go like this. All right, that's how we have to operate, my friends. There you go. This is Ukrainian troops in Nazi helmet taunt Russian prisoner. And that's the video, and there's the guy over there. This is the translation. This is the guy that was taunted by the liberators, invaders, how do you want to call it? So I think there is some evidence to support that the Ukrainians behave like many others before them and many others after them. And there is bad. The problem is not necessarily that those people, there's a problem, those people behaving as they behave. The problem is that these guys here keep their mouths shut. That's the problem. And that tells you how honest these operatives are here. I'm talking about the system operatives, as I call them. I call the legacy corporate media. All right, let's go to Israel. As you know, the Israelis, Mossad, they said, yeah, we did this. They put some explosive devices in some pagers and some walkie-talkies. And there were some explosions and some people died. And a lot of hundreds were injured. I think they were about 600 or something. And in this, there were some children as well. This reminds me, that's why I'm going to talk about this, because I know YouTube. I'm going to talk about this. So children were, so you put in the walkie-talkies in pagers, send them, and you don't know who's going to operate them. You think it's going to be, but they could be operating it. When they don't detonate that, you don't know where the guy is, or where the walkie-talkie is, where the pager is. Maybe is, I know, sitting on a table in a kitchen and a child eats, I know, soup. Now, this reminds me of this movie. I know it's only a movie, but you know, it's easy to work with this kind of images. Remember Scarface, the movie Scarface with Al Pacino? All right, so if you remember it with Tony Montana and so on. So he was the bad guy, right? He was the bad guy. Do you remember when they he installed actually another guy, Sosa's guy. This was his downfall, Tony Montana's fall. That a guy placed a bomb underneath a guy that they want to eliminate's car. So a car with a bomb underneath, and they were driving behind and trying to detonate it. The guy was trying to detonate. And they wanted to eliminate one man. Like these guys wanted to eliminate men, you know, guys from Hezbollah, right? Right. And what happens? Their children. So the man that these guys, Sosa's guy, the one with the button and the whole thing, with Al Pacino, with Montana, Tony Montana, they see the children of this guy with this guy entering the car with the bomb underneath. So Tony Montana said, no children, no, don't do it. And this guy wanted to come closer, so he has signals so he can reach and detonate the children that were in the same car with the guy that were targeted, like a Hezbollah. And what does the bad guy, Tony Montana, Scarface, do? Kills the criminal over there and tells him, I told you no children involved. I told you no children. So even that guy in that bad movie eliminated this criminal for wanting to detonate the car of the guy that these guys wanted to eliminate because of the children. So he had a heart for the children. All right. So these guys with the pagers, we don't give a fuck. Anyway, what do you think was going to happen? Now, here. Russia Today, Israel strikes Lebanon after pager attacks. Live updates. So, IDF has launched a wave of airstrikes in what Israel officials call a new phase of the war. I tell you what's going to happen. Israel will do whatever it wants. The Americans will try to hold everybody else so they can get pummeled. And when Israel is going to get whatever it wants, like in Gaza style, then going to move on. Maybe it's going to be Iran, with the help of the idiots. United States of America and Great Britain, they call for restraint. They've been calling in Gaza for more than a year. And as I said, nothing will happen because we know who owns who is the subordinate here. So that's the first one about this situation. If you don't stop the bully at the beginning, the bully will escalate and we go further and further and further. And the further the bully goes with his desires to do something in self-defense, then it's going to be harder to stop him because he's going to get more courageous. That's why you have to stop and smack the bully at the first bully-like behavior, even though you might get smacked, but at least you're going to punch him back. And next time, the bullies don't want to get punched back. Never. They want to be psychologically winning the fight and then eventually taking whatever they want to take. Therefore, you start with the beginning. He's going to beat you up probably if it goes that way. But eventually you have to. So you do it at the beginning when he's not so certain that he's going to beat you up. So if you get the beating up, you kick him in the balls, punching him in the nose, poking him in the eyes, grab him by his nipples, whatever you do. Nevertheless, the guy, next time when he's going to try again, he doesn't want to be hurt. Bullies get hurt. Pain. So that should have been done early. The first rocket you sent, that's it, all in. That's how I would do, but hey, that's me. So United Nations condemns shocking pager blasts in Lebanon and Syria. So we have here the mass detonation of electronic devices that killed at least 37 people and injured thousands. Shocking act of violence. International human rights law UN Human Rights Commissioner Volker Turk said on Wednesday. So they say, well, this is and I'm quoting, simultaneous targeting of thousands of individuals, whether civilians or members of armed groups, without knowledge as to who was in the possession of the targeted devices. Their location and their surrounding at the time of the attack violates international human rights laws. Who cares? This guy, why I say who cares? These guys will not give a damn. They will use, well, you know, self-defense and all that. They will do that. All right, next one. This is how the Russians see it. Russian Foreign Ministry calls pager detonations in Lebanon new type of terrorist attack. So Russia is concerned about the developments in Lebanon. And I'm quoting, this is a completely new type of terrorist act, I'm quoting, which combines both such a scale and such an application of new technologies, seemingly of a civilian nature, but used for terrorist purposes, end quote, Zakharova told a briefing. So remember, it was an ambassador who also got like that. I think the Iranian ambassador to Syria or something like that, who got that. If these guys can do this, and anybody else can do that, if they cross that kind of line, you have a phone, someone doesn't like you, well, you buy a phone, you order a phone. Nevertheless, this is, I think, what Zakharova said. I think it is accurate, the description. And United Nations called it as it called, and nothing will happen. Next one. Wow, look at this Polish guy. I know him because he's an imbecile. Donald Tusk, Polish Prime Minister, tells people not to panic over German soldiers. They're our friends. Freunde. Donald Tusk has announced that Berlin has offered to send troops to help Warsaw deal with devastating floods. Now offered, but if this guy says don't panic, that means it's already agreed that yes, send them in. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has urged citizens not to be alarmed if they see German soldiers arriving in their towns as the country continues to deal with devastating floods. The deluge this week has wrought havoc across Central Europe, reportedly killing at least 22 people and leaving a trail of destruction. So, speaking on Thursday at a crisis meeting in the western city of Wrocław, which has faced rising flood waters, Tusk stated that US troops were already providing support to communities in southern Poland and that Turkey and Germany had offered similar assistance. And I'm quoting, if you see German soldiers, please do not panic. They are here to help. Okay, Poland was invited by Nazi Germany in 1939, and they came to help their people in Danzig, and not only. So here is, according to them, right? So here is, my friends, drones, major drone attack. I think the 100s, and they say, what, 70? They destroyed 61 out of them, and some calibers over there. Then we have the concentration camps that Zakharova claims they are operated by the Ukrainians, Israel and Lebanon, and then the pagers and the walkie-talkies. We know what that is, and how the Russians and the United Nations look at those attacks, or how do you call it, operation. And then you have the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, who tells his fellow Polish, compatriots, right, to take it easy. It's going to be something that you're going to see more of this. Why? Because we are NATO. Hey, you're not under occupation. No. Little by little. You need more time, my friends in Poland. Why? Because you're still more patriotic and nationalistic than other imbeciles who were deluded already. Okay, so you need more time. They're gonna go slow on you, like at first time, slow. You don't go deep, blood and all that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.